Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing good. In this video, I'm sharing a little extract of a live streaming I did on YouTube a couple of weeks ago while I was working on the project of the month for Patreon. This is the final version. And in this video, you'll see a little bit of the early stages of this track. Let's go. So guys, let's introduce this track. It's the track I'm working on for this month on Patreon. Every month I do a project, and in this case I am doing a reconstruction of an old track that I really like. It's from Plastic City, which is a label. I fell in love with this track here and I'm trying to reconstruct it. Here's the track itself. Okay, and I'm trying to rebuild the vibes and not, when I start doing reconstructions, these are sort of exercises for me. And so usually I try to stick as close as I can to the original track, but then at a certain point I take my own direction and I go somewhere else, because sometimes I believe it's almost useless to try to perfectly rebuild everything. Sometimes I always say, sometimes it can be just a happy accident by the artist who just bumped into a sound, and so it's not worth spending hours trying to reproduce it, and maybe you can find better ideas just by trying something else. But anyway, this is what I did so far. Pretty close. The bass line is this following part of the track, because at the beginning it sounds in a certain way. Later on in the track it sounds like I did here, and you can check it here. This is my original reference. Of course, the original one has this sort of texture and richness, which I'm having a hard time to reproduce, especially because I'm trying to make most of the sounds with Ableton native stuff, no external effects, because for Patreon, that's what I usually do. I use samples, but I don't use like VSTs or effects, which are not the native Ableton effects. And so, sometimes you need some external help to get the vibe also. That's part of the challenge, and it's not an easy task. But yeah, the kick is pretty close. It's a nice 909, and then a good game with the rim shots here. There is a lot of going on with the toms in the original track, and I try to reproduce that as well. Then the bass line. Also, the bass line, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I started from a preset called Basic FM House Bass. Then I have here Erosion, just to give a bit of texture. This is without. And the effect of erosion is so pleasant to the ears that it completely changes how much you enjoy the sound, because this seems like a bit boring. But with this, it gives those higher frequencies that are satisfying to the ears. And then I have all of my synth section. So it was pretty hard to emulate the synth of the track. Let's go back to the beginning of the track. It almost looks like choir emulation. There we go. There's this whoo, it's like a U sound. And that was hard to find a synth that, scrolling through the presets, I couldn't find a similar sound. This, I think I made it with an electric piano, then I resampled it because I wanted to work on it inside the sampler here. And then I brought into a sampler, and with some modulation, it turned into this. And the chord I played is this one, just a long one, so it sounds like this. But this is an electric piano, it's a different sound that I use for the stubs, but it's the same chord. What chord is this? It's F minor something, a ninth, and then some octave, higher octave notes from this to this. It's pretty cool. It's just about looping the sound and adding some filter modulation, and with the LFO and with the filter here. Then on top of it, just to give some, because if we go back to this sound, there is some breath or breathe in the higher frequency that gives a lot of air to the sound, if that's the right definition. And I couldn't achieve this with this single sound. I tried with the erosion, but erosion, you can hear it just when you push when the volume goes up. Same with the redux. This is without. This is with, is better, but it's still not there. And so I found a sample, and I just add this on top of that. Without and with. And that's it. Yeah, and then I have this stub. It's a simple electric piano. Very strong with some saturation and phase. I try to emulate what comes next here. I think around this one. For example, that sound, pound, 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 that you can hear, I decided to do it differently. I know it's different, but it doesn't matter. I think it's pretty cool. Would it be an idea to layer a sub under the bass line so you keep the low frequency equalized? I don't think in this case it would be a good idea, because the sound here has already a lot of low frequencies on the two lower notes. And the upper note is not that it doesn't have lower notes, it's just missing a little bit. So I don't think it's worth to try layering. What I would do here, if I would want to spend a lot of time on this sound, is probably just find another sound. I did some sound design on this preset. I changed a few things. It's not exactly where I want, but at the same time, it's kind of a little bit dirty. It's not perfect. And even that is fine for this type of track. I think we don't need it to be perfect. It just need to vibe. I think it's fine with the toms. I think it's fine. Still, I love these tabs. The track works already, so that's a good sign. What I was planning for the live is adding something. Let's move on with the track and see what else comes. It's just the beginning. I want to see what comes in here. Okay, now we have... Seems like a shaker, and when it comes to shakers, is not easy to have a organic feel. This is pretty close though. Yeah, let's try with this. Let's try to extract the sound from the loop. Maybe this we can. Shakers are always a challenge. Let's take this one here. I'll go with this. Yeah, I don't like the main one here, so let's find something else. Oh, could try to use a loop in the background of everything. Hot. Okay, let's try with this. No, it's not bad. Yeah, I always close a little bit the hot, especially when I'm trying to emulate some old school vibes. And another cool thing is to, or better, I could take this off and use this and use the velocity to control. Of course, we don't want to exaggerate between just a little bit to give an accent. If you check it alone, it doesn't sound very well, but in the context, it's grooving. Yeah, I can apply the groove. I have a groove here. I keep it very, very soft because the original track has a very soft groove. But here on the shaker, it's not about the groove. I think it's just about the fact that it doesn't sound organic played in this way, you know. Yeah, with the shaker is always a mess. I think the best thing is to just find a loop that works and use that. On the huts, I like to use some effects just to make them a little bit more funky. What I want to do now is understand if there are some new sounds coming in. Yeah, there's a clap here. And there's also a vocal that does something like that. Okay, let's put this clap because I have this snare. Just a sample that I took from a loop. I want to find a clap, so let's go see this. If I can. I don't mind this. Think it works. Yeah, let's find that vocal. Yeah, it's more like a cha, cha. I could record it with my vocal. I think cha, 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 cha. Let's record it. Cha, cha, cha. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I can just take this. There we go. Let's just put some effects, and yeah, that's it. I think we did something for today. Now, it was a nice session. So this was a nice one. I mean, I hope you had fun. I did have fun, and I'm happy of how this reconstruction is coming up. If you want to have this project, you will find it on Patreon this month, together with a little sample pack with some of the samples from this project, but also from another project I worked on. Thanks for being with me. Thank you to Fleta, thank you Dennis, thank you Stripped, and everybody else who joined. Let me know if you want to see more. I'll try to do more in the future. Let's keep going. See you guys.